In this video, we go metal detecting in the days heading up to Hurricane Idalia, and we didn't even know that it was coming. Let's go! We're on vacation. This is our place in Florida, which is also an Airbnb. Yeah, we're going to the beach. Town is Cape Coral, and it is the boating capital of the world. It's got canals upon canals. Cape Coral and Fort Myers were also the epicenter for where the eye hit of Hurricane Ian. We know because we got hit. A lot of people got hit worse. We had about $40,000 in damage, and we're not excited about this new hurricane coming. This area has been through a lot in the last year with Hurricane Ian, and I'm happy to see that there was a pretty big recovery that happened as well. As you'll see in this video, that recovery hasn't fully happened yet. We followed along from New York, and you know, these people went through a really rough time. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I've never seen this before. Pardon our appearance. Hurricane Ian recovery. And you gotta text something. Some of you will be happy to know we are going legend. Yeah, I brought the wired plug so that I could fully submerge it and you know, still get signals to the headphones. Yeah, if you don't have it wired, when the box of the metal detector is underwater, it will lose signal to the headphones, and that kind of defeats the purpose. I have no clue about the tides or anything like that. I'm just going in right now, and it's a Gulf beach, so you don't get the wild waves. At that point, I didn't know the storm was coming. Later on in this video, you will see relatively wild waves, at least for the Gulf. In my opinion, although I got skunked last time, yeah, you got to get in the water. Here, you got to get in the water. New York, it's different. But I have no problem with that. Let's go. Actually got a signal on the beach. Oh yeah, I didn't bring my honey badger this time. I've been selling the scoops, and the travel scoop is in high demand, so we're gonna rough it. Cap of bottle. How about that? Oh my god, this water is gorgeous. This is like getting in a jacuzzi. No problem whatsoever. With temperature, and I'm a big baby. This is gorgeous. Oh, this is gonna be a good day regardless of what I get. This is heaven. Now the GoPro, if you submerge it underwater, it takes like 30 minutes to to dry out and get back to a normal sound, so I might have to do some narrating over it. Kind of takes away the sights and the sounds, you know? Well, the sounds. Not getting too much. But that's Florida. Arguably one of the most hunted places on earth. New York, you got plenty of options in terms of the dirt. I mean, Florida has some dirt history. I mean, think of St. Augustine, but for the most part, everybody goes to the beach in Florida. The first thing that I noticed was a deceptively strong undertow. It looks like the waves are barely moving, but I was being pulled in the opposite direction of the water. It was kind of wild. Finally, first signal. I'm like 5 scoops down and I still hear it. I was trying to figure out this beach, and everything that I was getting was very far down. You'll see, and big. When I finally got that target, it came with a surprise. It was just part of a can. But look at what was next to it. We got a pretty amazing seashell from the seashell capital of the world. Yeah, you always get some serendipity here. These are some of the shells that I got in my scoop, along with the finds that I found metal detecting. Another signal. And my second signal was another piece of can slaw, but it gets better from here. You know, I think that these are skipped. These are skipped on purpose. I think I'm going to do the same. You could tell from the sounds if it's a bigger object, and at this point, especially since there was so much destruction at the shoreline, stuff got pulled out and people litter. So anything that was big, I kind of skipped. Mid-tone, I'm not skipping this. It slipped through my scoop. Anything once it starts sounding big, I think I'm going to move on. Let's get some easy signals first, because again, I have to learn this beach, and really I have to retrain myself on this detector. It's been a minute. Don't know if that's going to be easy. Everything, there's a layer of sand. I was starting to get mid-tones, and yet never skip those because gold is in that range, mid to low. So I was digging everything, and sometimes it wound up being trash. Oh, here's an easy one. Yeah, great. Similar signal, similar result, but I'm gonna dig that every time. At this point, I was at it for about 2 hours, and I didn't even get a coin yet. And while it's true that people are carrying less coins, that doesn't affect jewelry, and I hadn't found any jewelry yet. But I was committed to moving around the beach and trying different depths that were out there, and eventually I hit a really good signal. It took me going chest deep to get to where the coins were and where there were targets. And as you can see there, I got my first coin. It was a zinc penny. But here comes the first really good find of the trip. Oh, I see you. Again, the audio was off because the speakers were submerged. But this is my first Gulf Coast ring. We are on the board, and let's take a close look at this ring. Using that wire enabled me to go deeper in the water, and I don't see an engraving in this ring. And there's a chunk out of it which makes me question if it's even silver. But you know what? A ring is a ring is a ring, and that's my favorite thing to find. So we're on the board, and we've got greater things to come. Now, the interesting thing was I started hitting targets, and it took me back to my Turks and Caicos trip. Even though from the surface it appears that the water is not really moving, it is. And I found a patch. Well, I can actually use that. Well, on to the next. That's a good start, though. We got our first Gulf Coast ring. I've found rings on the other Florida coast many times, but the Gulf Coast has stumped me. So that was a breakthrough in a way. Let's go home. Day one, as you saw, I went to Sanibel, and I left with the impression that there has been a lot of healing that was done, a lot of recovery that was done from Hurricane Ian. The next day, I went with family to Fort Myers Beach. The difference was Sanibel, you could see that there was damage and it's getting fixed. Fort Myers, there were so many places that were just blown out and blown down, entire buildings, and you just didn't see cars in front of them. Now, I was here a year ago, and people were packing the streets, and it's not a time of year thing. I was there on a Sunday, and the streets were completely empty. It was a war zone. So, I saw a big difference in Fort Myers versus Sanibel in terms of the recovery. There was just so much more recovery that needed to happen. And I'll show you on Google Maps in a second. I was heading to a part that was absolutely packed towards the end of Fort Myers by Estero. There's just a bunch of apartment buildings and hotels that people can stay at. And I remember the beach being packed last year. Totally different world this year. In fact, here's the front of those hotels, and as you can see, nobody's allowed in there. They must have gotten extensive damage. But I did some detecting on the beach, and all that was there was debris, extreme debris. Fort Myers, just perhaps it got it worse, or maybe it's just a slower recovery, but the beach itself, it's not worth really detailing in the video. It's just a bunch of debris from the storm that was there and a few coins. And that brings us to this morning, which is about a day before the eye is going to pass over somewhere on the Florida coast. We don't know yet. Perhaps if you watch this video in the future, you'll know. But at this point, we don't know. But I do know I'm on the outskirts of the storm. And the waters, if you go back and you look back and compare the beginning part of this video to this next segment, you're going to see a huge difference. You're going to see a huge difference in the treasure too. We're going detecting again, but what a difference a few days makes. Hurricane Idalia is on its way. And, you know, after last summer, you got to keep it, you got to take it seriously. Let's put it that way. And we will, if we get an evacuation order, we're going to evacuate. But as for now, this could be my last morning metal detecting. Let's see what we get, of course, but yeah, this kind of sucks if that's the case. Whoa, foggy lens. Yeah, it's that kind of morning. Hold on. Ah, much better. Caution, potential buried debris in sand and water. It's kind of what I'm here for. We're here for the golden debris. It's very dangerous to the fish. Legend or Deus. Oh man, I did Legend on day 1. I actually did Deus on day 2. I didn't get a lot of video on that, but let's do Legend. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Other than the beautiful scenery, it kind of looks like New York. I don't mean the sky. I don't mean the beauty of the sand. What I mean is there's actual waves coming in. This is the wildest that I've seen the water on the Gulf of Mexico. Wow, look at this. And I see puddles back here on the beach. Could there have been push-in? Unbelievable. So this came all the way back here last night. Wow. And we sure have a windy beach. I might actually look on the beach. Okay, so this is gonna be, those are breakers, man. This is gonna be tough to get in the water today with this. I wouldn't get in the water in this with New York because everything's gonna be moving. We might have a push-in beach. Okay, let's go. Game plan is to check the slope first. And, I mean, maybe I'll go a little bit in the water, but that's going to be a battle. I was remembering the undertow from the other day and that I don't know these waters. But then I started hitting targets on the beach. First signal, 42. I see it. Look at this. Fork, knife, spoon? What is this? This is probably part of a pendant. Whoa, that's pretty cool. I'll call that a score. Why not? All right, we got a pendant washed up. This was on the beach, too. That's a good sign. Let's go. Yeah, if you get low wave energy like the Gulf of Mexico usually has, you have to go in the water for something like this. The fact that something like this was pushing up on the beach, or perhaps the slope was getting eroded down to this level, that's a great sign. That is a great start, and we have a great day. Right at the top of this slope, I have no doubt that that was pushed in. Same location, top of the slope. And we just got a dime. Okay, this is gonna be a good day. Let's go. 45.46. Now the dime. Another one. This sounds deeper. Yeah, it's something with a really big surface down here. I'm gonna let it be. It's not like a phone. It's even bigger than that. We're gonna let that be. We got stuff washing up. That's a great sign. We've got water collecting in the dunes. That's another great sign. Homeowners in the area certainly don't want beach erosion, but for metal detecting, treasure hunting purposes, it uncovers areas of the beach that were sanded in previously, so you could get stuff that has been there for a while. This is what was happening. 2 signals, one here, one here. Aluminum, more aluminum. Look at this, we got pooling back on the beach. That's something you look for. All right, we better move, the tides are coming up. 45 on the slope. I'm only gonna show you the signal if it's amazing. Okay, we just got a green coin. This has been exposed to the elements for a long time. And it's just a penny, a regular penny. But that means there has been erosion in the slope. Let's go. Very faint. I wouldn't hear this without headphones. That's why it was faint. Oh snap, I call this a sign in New York. If you get green objects, if you get heavy objects, chances are you're gonna have a good day. 37. Look at that. Oh, look at this. There's people around and there's tides going everywhere. I want to yell, we might have gotten some Florida gold. Yeah. Don't know if it has to wait, but we'll see. Yeah, there was one thing that was throwing this off, and you can kind of see the green peeking through here. This is plated. And you see, what does that say? Seta, S-E-T-A. Yeah, that's a brand. They make jewelry that is plated. Yeah, you can see right there. But a ring is a ring is a ring. And by tradition, we just unlocked Taco Bell. We're foodies here, so happy about that. And yeah, got a nice ring. You know, there's an expression, sea change. That means a total shift in the way things go. It comes from times like this. This is a sea change in how I have seen the water move in the Gulf of Mexico, and I kind of like it. I just hope nobody gets hurt with this storm. 31 on top of the slope. Are you kidding me? So this is for shelling. Sanibel Island is known for its seashells. I'm gonna leave this far back on the beach for somebody who's gonna enjoy that, and on to the next. Look at the up and over that's happening and the water pooling in the back. This is what we see in the northeast. It's happening here. Zinc penny, top of the slope. Let me tell you, top of the slope has been on fire. Keep going. Okay, I just swiped this out of the waves. Merrill just mudlarked this. Okay, look at that. We got a chain. Hello Kitty. I have my doubts that this is going to be real. I know it looked golden at one point. This was sitting there at the top of the slope. This got pushed over. It's all balled up. Let me make sure my camera is stay professional. I know it was fogging up before. Yeah, I'll give you a good look at this. I have my doubts if it's gold. It's 10K if nothing else. It doesn't really have the weight, but this was sitting at the top of the slope. Let's go. Yeah, so this is gonna take an awful lot of cleaning and changing and moving and all of that. I have my doubts that it is gold. Bro, you don't put gold on Hello Kitty. Kind of looks nice from this angle. Hello Kitty. What does that say? Copyright something. Oh, hearts. Yeah, I have my doubts. 39.40, zinc penny. 40, 41. Now that the tides are coming in, look at how the beach is filling up with water. This is probably the early storm surge. This is pretty wild to see. 47. Another dime in the scoop. Oh snap, I didn't even get the target ID on this. We just got a big earring. Look at this. With sand stuck to it. This has been exposed for a while. Okay. Wow. Another green dime. This has been exposed. Okay, let's go. We got a low tone. Let's go. Look. Oh, did we? Oh, I don't know. A little bit beaten up. I see an engraving there. We're gonna have to check the engraving. This is possibly silver. Might have gotten silver. Yeah, there we go. That was not silver. 3, 2, 1. Sushi. Has been unlocked. Well, come here, little guy. 14K, Italy, and whatever that says. There we go. You got beaten up a little bit. You would have been washed away in a few hours. But we just scored some Florida gold. There we go. Yeah, when we got home, our place looked like this. They would have been washed away. Might be a sign to leave. You see those waves, they are pushing back all the way to the dunes. Please pardon the wind in this part, but it's the start of a hurricane. Nah. People are slobs. Might be time to go home. What the heck is this? Great. Another dime? Nah. Far back on the beach, we got a cut going on. Although a mild one, and something I've never seen before on the Gulf Coast. You got sea foam. See that? Mother Nature made the decision. It was kicking me out. It was time to leave. That slope that was here at the beginning, it is gone. It is completely gone. Actually, you can just see a little at the top. The waves are really coming in now. Look at the water going all the way back to the dunes. It's time to go. All right, Merrill, let's not get the rental car flooded. That wouldn't be cool. This was all sand when I got here. That is pretty wild. We have a sea of water that I gotta go through to get back to the car. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Gulf Coast does have cushion. There's no doubt about it. This is pretty wild. I'm like knee deep in water. Let's go home. You think the entrance looks a little bit different? Wow, this is quite the learning experience.